All right, let's talk about modes. And let's go back to the first mode is 1.2 and no, it's not. Get it out of here. The first mode is 1.2. No, first mode is 1.1 and that's volume. And you click this thing again. You get the little arrow key and you can increase the volume. And let's see. You can also hit this. No. You can hit this again. And so, okay, so 1.2 is the mode for lower sideband, CW, AM, FM, upper sideband. And then this next one is bandwidth filter. When I got my radio, it was preset at 500, and when I tried to listen to a single sideband, it sounded a little weird. And I finally figured out that I had to turn this to full, or if you hit it again, you get the arrow key, and actually 3000 sounds good. We'll hit it. We'll leave it there. We'll hit this thing again. Next one up is the band selector. So right now we're on 80, and we can use this to select our bands up and down. And it doesn't have a filter for 160. It does transmit into a dummy load. I wouldn't transmit on over the air. It also has, so anyway, it's basically 8 bands, 10 through 80, not 160. And it also has 6 meters, but it doesn't have the filter for it. And it may damage the final transistors in this thing if you try and transmit. And I tried to get it to receive on 6, and it's not very good. So anyway, so much for the bands. Anyway, we can hit this again, and then wait, and then hit it again. So 1.4 is bands, 1.5 is the tuning rate, and you can change that to, there's 100 cycles, there's 1 kilocycle, which I like for most applications. Okay, so there's tuning rate, VFO mode. You can switch it between A and B. It doesn't have any memory channels, so if you want to put one in there, and if you want to run split, that's fine. You can use B for a memory channel, or you can use it for running split operation. Let's go to what's the next one? 7. RIT is on or off. Right now it's off. AGC is on. If you turn it off, loud signals get really loud. The AGC is slow to attack, so a strong signal will pop in, like some of the old Heathkit radios back in the day. It's a little annoying. If everybody's got a constant signal, it doesn't. Once someone starts talking and the AGC adjusts itself to that signal, it doesn't pop. But when a strong signal suddenly appears, it pops. Then it settles out. So it's slow to attack, which is annoying. Noise reduction, I got it off, but it works pretty good on 1 or 2. The attenuator comes 0, the first attenuator. The second attenuator is set for a 1. I'll leave both those alone. Those are default settings. The S meter can be an S meter, it can be a decibel meter, or it can be a bar graph. I got it set for S meter. CW coder comes with it on, and it works really good. CW coder works good. And this is for setting up your CW for semi QSK. Keyer speed, you can adjust that. I got it set for 15 words a minute. It copies 1AW, pretty good. Keyer mode, straight, or whatever you want to do. Keyer swap off. That's what and you can practice. These are all the default settings. Vox is off, but you can turn it on, but it defaults off. And I set this noise gate earlier at a 1. I think it's set at a 4 from the factory. TX drive is a 4, and I set it to a 2. Trying to clean up the sideband transmit a little bit. CQ interval 5, I don't know. CQ message, CQ PE1, NNNNN. Probably something to do with either some sort of contest number or maybe a call sign. Bias, we've already set it. The PA bias minimum is set at 0 from the factory. I set mine for 20. PA bias maximum is at 128, I think, and I set mine for 120. Okay, here's the important one. This one from the factory was set at 27,005,000, and this reference frequency is how you adjust your frequency readout for whatever frequency or whatever band you're on, and it was 2.6 kilocycles off. So if someone said to me, hey, let's go to 3.8000, and I went to 3.800, and they were going to meet me at 3.000, I wouldn't hear them and they wouldn't hear me, because it was almost 3 kZs off. So in order to fix that, I had to change this, and I listened to myself on that. I actually, listened to this. I listened to a QSO on this radio with one antenna, and then with a different antenna, I listened to that same QSO, but they were way off from frequency. And then I started, so you click this again, and it's just changing the numbers. Now, mine happened to clean up when I got to all zeros. I got rid of that 5000 and I went to all zeros. So with 27,000,000, where mine cleaned up, and it's pretty much on frequency now. Yours may vary. Let's see if I can find the knob. Okay, there's the detent there. So it's at 94. If I turn it one full turn, because it is 94, so that's 15. It made 15 changes in the steps, and I had to change it 5,000. So, what is that, 350 times I had to turn this thing. And it took a while, and it wore out my fingers. Wasn't fun. I finally got it down there. Then I said, okay, good enough. I'm going to turn it back to 0. Then I hit this again. Now, big problem. I turned the radio off in the back with the menu set at 8.3. And when I turned the radio back on, guess what it did for me? Yeah, it reset it back to factory settings, 27005000, and I had to spend another 15-20 minutes twisting that stupid thing. So, learn from my mistakes. Before you turn the radio off, always return your menu to 1.1, your volume. Set it there. Then you can, So there it is. It's then if I turn the radio off, turn the radio back on, and then check that. There, it's still the same. It didn't change. And I am not going to turn the radio off, turn it back on, because it's going to go back to it's going to go back to the default, and then I'm going to have to spend another 15, 20 minutes wearing these out. Not going to do it. Sorry, guys. Not that, I'm not going to sacrifice. Anyway, a little bit of tidbits on the menus. So another thing, all the default frequencies go to the same. They go to FT8. Yeah, FT8. And on every, so if I change bands, that's an FT8 frequency on 60 meters, FT8 on 40, FT8 on 30, FT8 on 20, FT8 on 17, FT8 on 15, FT8 on 12, FT8 on 10, and then back to 80 meters again. If you change the frequencies, I'll just change this guy there, 3.635. Turn it off. Okay, it stayed the same this time. If I turn it off, change bands, turn it off, come back, turn it on. There. It goes back to the FT8 frequency. That's the default frequency. So if you, okay, there's 604. If I turn it off, turn it back on, it's fine. If I go up to, let's go up to 40, it's, yeah, 711, turn it off, turn it on, it stays there as long as, but if I go up, change bands again, there, it's back to the default frequency. So it only remembers your last frequency that you're on if you stay on that band when you turn it off and turn it back on. Yeah, it doesn't have memory channels. So if you got a couple favorite frequencies on 80 and a couple more favorites on 40 or whatever, 20, 10, any of the other AM bands, you're gonna have to reset them all. And now if you want to use this for FT8, and the way to do that is to get a couple of audio cables for your headphones and your microphone. And those are 3.5 millimeter three conductor jacks. And then run the two audio cables into your sound card. And then set up your FT8 menu so that'll recognize the sound card. You'll have to put the radio in Vox. You have to go to the Vox menu and turn this on. And probably adjust things. But then you can do FT8. Supposing, I haven't done that yet. I got to make up some cables. So there you go. More you know. 7-3 from me, KB at KCO.